We now return to Behind the Duel Monsters. Today's guest, Bandit Keith.
Hello, my fellow Americans. My name is Keith Howard, though many of you may know me better as Bandit Keith, the former Intercontinental Duel Monsters champion. It's been a while since I've dueled in America, and I've been asked on the show to address some of the rumors, whenever I last participated in the games. So I'm going to give you a quick history lesson on what I went through for Duel Monsters. Starting out, things were easy enough for me. I excelled at the game, and actually became known as one of the Duel Monsters professors of America. I became so good that I could pretty much just live off of the prize money from the tournaments. It was sweet. It was wonderful. And then I met Pegasus. It was at a Duel Monsters tournament in New York City. Got to the finals. It was me and him. We were playing the game, and he humiliated me. Now, he wrote down how to beat me, which I still don't know how the hell he knew that, on a little note, and he called a child in from the audience to play the final turn. Yeah, that happened. So, I lost. I was humiliated. And, I was bitter about it. I'll be honest on that. I wanted to destroy Pegasus for what he did to me. He disgraced me. So, I decided to join in his Duelist Kingdom tournament. With a couple of my friends, let's say. So we go to the island, everything's going pretty well for us, and then we run into that damn Joey Wheeler kid. The guy who went on to get second place in Duelist Kingdom, and then third place in Battle City, and God knows how many other stupid prizes. Yeah, that kid. We played him. He beat my friend Bones, because, well, Bones is an idiot. Go figure on that one. And that's where some of the controversy comes in. People are saying, oh, I trapped Yugi and his little friends in that damn cave. And that I beat up my friends and I took all their star chips and I went to face Pegasus myself. Because it was all about revenge. I'll give you the revenge part, because, I was justified. I deserved it. After what he did to me, after what he did to the game. As for the attack on my friends, fuck it. That is also true. Those were darker times for me, and as for the trapping them in the cave part, again, guilty, but they apparently got out as well. I ran into them again at the Kingdom, for the finals. So, I'm not such a bad guy. Because last I knew, Wheeler, he only had the 6 star chips. So somehow he got the star chips he needed to get into the Kingdom, after our little duel. Well, sorry, the duel with Bones, I mean. So, I'm not a bad guy for that. That's just something that happened. So, you're welcome, you little runt. But But yeah, so I go into the finals. I play my game with Wheeler. Little bastard won, somehow. With that bullshit grave robber card. I'll give it to him, though. He won. And yeah, I snapped. I actually went at Pegasus. You'll hear some rumors saying, "Oh, I had a gun," and "Oh no, I didn't," and I demanded the prize money, and blah blah blah, and this and that. I went crazy. I'll admit that. Pegasus, of course, magically, had a trapdoor set up for me. So yeah, I got dumped in the ocean. That's attempted murder, bitch. In America. But oh no, nobody calls him out. Hey, he's the guy who created the game. He's the best. He's the coolest. So now, here's the part not everybody knows. Okay? I was saved after being dropped into the ocean from hundreds of fucking feet in the air, I might add. Unfortunately, the guys who saved me, yeah, they're the dark part of this children's card game. Okay? Those guys called the Rare Hunters, they go around stealing rare cards and this and that and selling them on the black market. Yeah. Those were the guys that saved me. And you know what happened to me after that? I was brainwashed. And I was made some fucking tool. Okay? For this guy called Merrick, Blarick, Malik, I don't know, something. Okay? Yeah. That happened. And guess what? I run into little Yugi again. So I get another chance at beating the King of Games. And yeah, that's where things got a little weird. Like I don't know what the hell was going on there, but I was hearing voices and whew, yeah. It was some freaky shit. And yeah, that's about the time when I dropped out of the dueling world. Because you don't really look at a dueling arena the same again whenever, you had to deal with the rare hunters and being humiliated and being dropped in the ocean and all that shit the same. So I left it behind. And I went home to Canada. Yeah, I'm Canadian. However, the part about me being American is actually true. I mean, at the time, I didn't get my green card, but I recently changed that. So, yeah, I lied about that for most of my dueling career, honestly. And I'm sorry. The problem was, oh, hey, you're Canadian. You know how many people bash on that? It gets really goddamn frustrating. So, yeah, I was lying to myself about who the fuck I was because of the stupid shit I had to hear all the time. Oh, hey, you're from Canada? Do you like maple syrup and hockey and go A all the time? Yeah. It's not a good reason for what I did. But, it was my angle. It worked for me, and yeah. Do I regret some of the things that I did on my way to the top? Yeah. But fucking, with money like that, you couldn't really just turn away from that and be like, oh no, I don't want that money. Because like I talked about earlier, this Duel Monsters game is not all fun and kids games and stuff. Like I talked about, there's those Rare Hunter guys. I was brainwashed. Friggin' even your little king of games, I'm pretty sure he's fucking cheating too. I mean, seriously. You know, you see him, you know, he's about probably 4 foot. You know, you enter a duel with him, all of a sudden he's like 4'6". And his voice is just dramatically changed. What's the deal with that? And Pegasus knowing my cards? Yeah. So, no, it's not this happy, wholesome, nice little card game that you guys all think it is. So, yeah, that's why I can't go back to it. So, what have I been doing since my Duel Monsters career? I've just been bouncing around a bit. You know, making the occasional appearance at Duel Monsters tournaments and such. You know, just figuring out who I really am. Yeah. Like I said, I wasn't really American originally, but I since moved into LA. I'm hoping to get into, you know, the movies. You know, become an actor. I don't know, but yeah. Now, you wanted to hear the great story about Bandit Keith, about how I was such a bastard and how I sucked so goddamn much. Yeah, that's my story. And, well, I hope you're happy with it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going back to my home. In America. Alright, so yeah, that was Bandit Keith, you know, from the anime, manga, and even some of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Video games. Basically, you know, he was a supporting character, cameo character, I guess you'd say. He only appeared a couple of times in the duel with Joey, you know, at the end of Duelist Kingdom, and then once again, right before Battle City. And I guess a 4th time also, but it was just like a little quick thing. But yeah, you know, basically he was one of the villains of the series, and actually one of the main characters that Joey had to beat in Duelist Kingdom in order to, you know, move on to the finals. Move on in the finals, sorry. He was the former Duel Monsters Intercontinental Champion. You know, he was pretty good at his game. Though, yes, he did cheat. A lot. There's not really much else to say about the character beyond that. Why did I choose him, though? Well, for those of you who know of the series Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, made by Little Karibo. Not really plugging it, I'm just saying he's the person who made it, and yeah, he really brought the character into the limelight a bit. You know, a bit better than the actual series did anyway. But basically, you know, in that, yes, he was Intercontinental Champion, but he also had an America obsession. Like, pretty much every sentence would end with, in America, you know, or he'd talk about America in some way. You know, and it was funny. So he went from being like a kind of bland random villain to like being a funny villain with at least some kind of shtick. You know, and that's why I went with the character. You know, because he was funny, he was interesting, you know, just because he was so obsessed with America. And spoilers for Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, but you know, they said in their version that he was actually Canadian, posing as an American. Hence the whole allusion to how he's American and such. But yeah. That was Bandit Keith. Basically, that was some years after Battle City and all that stuff. You know, they caught up with him and they were just doing a quick interview, you know, about Bandit Keith, because he was a big character in the Duel Monsters world of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because, I mean, he was Intercontinental Champion. That's something. You know, most of that I just made up off the top of my head. I mean, the name Keith Howard is actually his real name. But, yeah. Yeah. He's not, you know, one of the main characters, and I wanted to bring some story to him. You know, help to show that he wasn't just a bad guy for bad guy's sake, you know, but he at least had some legit reasons, and, you know, they kind of just peter off with his story after the whole fortune teller thing and trying to steal the Millennium Puzzle. You know, so I wanted to give him at least a nice little ending where, oh hey, he's moved on with his life. He's not going to go back to the games necessarily, but he at least has a plan for something else. But yeah, I mean, that's really all I have to say for Bandit Keith. You know, he was a random character in the anime and manga. He turned into more of a cliche in Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, which, you know, actually probably brought him a bit more fame and infamy. So, props for that. Personally, I like the character in Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. But yeah, so Keith, you know, you were a good duelist, you know, a funny character, and well, I hope you did well after Duelist Kingdom and the fortune teller thing and running into the rare hunters. But yeah, so stay tuned for part 2, where I'm just going to quickly go over how I made the costume. Nothing really big to it, but it's something you got to do. So I'll be back, guys. Stick around.